A tear on the face of time. Journey to the white marble dream. The chaos before the calm. Imagine standing in a street where the noise is so loud you cannot hear your own thoughts. Motorbikes are honking loudly, street dogs are barking at shadows, and the sweet smell of hot frying sugar mixes with heavy gray dust. This is Agra, a very busy and crowded city located deep in the colorful heart of India. You might look around and wonder why millions of people travel thousands of miles to visit this loud, crazy place every single year. The answer is waiting just a few quiet streets away, hiding perfectly behind very high red stone walls. People do not come here for the crowded streets or the heavy traffic on the busy roads. They come to see a promise of love that was turned into perfect white stone many centuries ago. But before you can see this famous, beautiful dream, you must survive the beautiful chaos of the city around it. Walking through Agra feels like walking through a loud, colorful movie that never ever stops playing. Women in bright red and yellow saris walk past shops selling heavy silver jewelry and hot, spicy street food. The hot air is thick with the strong smell of green cardamom, fresh ginger, and old motorcycle smoke. But as you walk closer to the river, the noise suddenly begins to fade away, leaving a curious, quiet whisper in the air. Waking up in the dark. It is 4 o'clock in the morning, and the Indian sky above you is still completely black. The morning air is surprisingly cold, so you pull your comfortable light jacket much closer to your body. You are walking down a very quiet road because noisy cars and dirty buses are not allowed near the monument. The city is sleeping, but your mind is fully awake and ready for the grand adventure that is waiting ahead. Your heart is beating fast with excitement, but your tired eyes are still a little heavy with sleep. The only sound you can hear is the soft tapping of your own shoes against the hard stone road. Other travelers are walking quietly beside you, and everyone shares the exact same feeling of great anticipation. Soon, the golden sun will start to rise, and you want to be there for the very first light of the new day. As you walk, you can hear small monkeys jumping softly in the high branches of the dark trees. A friendly local guide smiles at you and tells you to keep your camera ready in your hands. He says that the first view of the monument is something you will remember for the rest of your life. You hold your ticket tightly, feeling like you are holding a golden key to a secret royal world. What will you see first? The Great Red Gate. The entrance building is called the Great Gate, and it is made of beautiful dark red sandstone. Even this gate is so big and impressive that it could be a famous tourist attraction all by itself. White marble flowers and complex Arabic writing decorate the red walls, looking like a wonderful painting from an old storybook. The gate is shaped like a giant arch, and it serves as a magical picture frame for the mystery that is inside. As you stand in the dark shadow of the Great Gate, you look through the giant open archway. At first, the morning mist is too thick, and you can only see a soft, white, glowing light in the distance. The people around you suddenly stop talking, and a heavy, respectful silence falls over the entire crowd. Everyone is waiting perfectly still for the early morning fog to slowly clear away from the riverbanks. Then, like a ghost stepping out of a gentle dream, the white marble domes slowly appear through the soft fog. You take a step forward into the archway, and the beautiful building seems to grow bigger and bigger. It looks like it is floating softly on a cloud, not touching the hard ground at all. It is so perfect and bright that it completely takes your breath away for a long moment. Do you dare to step closer? Colors of the morning sun. When you step fully through the red gate, the sun finally peeks over the distant horizon. The very first rays of warm golden sunlight touch the top of the giant white marble dome. Instantly, the cold white stone changes color and turns into a soft, warm, and beautiful, glowing pink. It is like watching a sleeping flower slowly open its petals to welcome the bright, fresh new morning. The monument is famous because it changes its beautiful colors depending on the time of the day. In the early morning, it looks soft and pink, like a shy blush on a young person's face. Later in the bright afternoon, the strong sun makes the white marble shine so brightly that it almost hurts your eyes. And finally, under the moonlight, it turns a cool, glowing silver color that looks completely magical and unreal. You slowly walk down the wide stone steps and enter the famous paradise gardens of the Royal Monument. Long pools of calm, flat water stretch out perfectly in front of you, pointing straight toward the white building. The water is so smooth and still that it acts like a giant, perfect mirror on the ground. You can see a perfect upside-down copy of the white dome resting quietly in the blue water. Are you ready to hear its story? The story behind the stone. You cannot truly understand this amazing place without knowing the sad and beautiful love story behind its creation. Many hundreds of years ago, in the 17th century, a powerful emperor named Shah Jahan ruled over India. He was a very rich and strong king, but his heart belonged completely to his favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal. They were deeply in love, and they traveled everywhere together, sharing both the good times and the bad times. Mumtaz Mahal was known as the most beautiful and intelligent woman in the entire Indian royal court. She was not just a quiet wife. She was the emperor's best friend and his most trusted advisor. The people of the empire loved her because she was kind, generous, and cared deeply for the poor citizens. Shah Jahan believed that his beautiful life with her would simply last forever, but fate had a different, sadder plan. Tragically, while giving birth to their 14th child, the lovely Queen Mumtaz Mahal became very sick and died. The great emperor was so completely broken by sadness that he locked himself inside his room for 8 whole days. When he finally came out, his dark black hair had turned completely white from his terrible, deep grief. He promised to build the most beautiful tomb in the history of the world, so no one would ever forget her. But how was it built? The great secret of the builders. There is a very famous and dark story that almost everyone believes about the building of this magnificent monument. People say that when the amazing building was finally finished, Emperor Shah Jahan did a very terrible thing. The common myth claims he ordered his guards to cut off the hands of all the master builders and artists. He supposedly did this dark deed so they could never build anything as beautiful as his wife's tomb ever again. But here is a surprising and wonderful secret that changes everything you thought you knew about this famous place. That dark story is completely false, and it is nothing but an old myth created to make the emperor look cruel. In reality, the emperor gave the workers huge amounts of gold, honored them deeply, and built a special village for them. The village is called Taj Ganj, and it still exists today, located right outside the main gates of the monument. Even more amazingly, the direct descendants of those original artists still live in that exact same neighborhood today. If you walk through the narrow streets of Taj Ganj, you can watch these artists working with white marble. They use the exact same simple tools and the same difficult techniques that their grandfathers used 400 years ago. Knowing this true, happy story makes the perfect stone walls feel much more like a genuine place of love and respect. What else hides inside? Stepping closer and inside. As you finally reach the main platform of the tomb, you must take off your comfortable walking shoes. You step onto the cool white marble in your bare feet, feeling the smooth, polished stone under your skin. Up close, you can see that the white walls are not just plain white, empty stone like they appear from far away. They are completely covered in beautiful, colorful flowers made from precious stones perfectly cut into the solid marble. These stone flowers are made from dark red rubies, green emeralds, and bright blue sapphires brought from across the world. The master artists carefully cut the hard jewels into the gentle shapes of soft flower petals and green leaves. It is a special type of art called pietra dura, and it requires an impossible amount of patience and skill. Some single marble flowers have more than 60 tiny pieces of precious jewel carefully glued perfectly inside them. Have you ever visited a place so incredibly beautiful and deeply emotional that it made you completely forget to take a picture? Have you ever stood somewhere so amazing that you just wanted to put your camera down and look with your own eyes? Please share your own personal travel experiences, because we would love to hear about the specific places that truly captured your heart. You walk slowly through the huge, dark archway and enter the quiet inner room of the giant tomb. The air inside is surprisingly cool, and the only sound is the soft, echoing whispers of other travelers standing respectfully in the shadows. Inside, Emperor Shah Jahan lies right next to his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, resting together quietly for all of eternity. But how does this perfect day finally end? The sun set goodbye. After exploring the beautiful inner rooms, you decide to cross the river to a beautiful green garden called Mehta Bagh to watch the sun go down. This garden sits perfectly on the opposite side of the Yamuna River, directly facing the back of the great monument. There are no large crowds here, only a few quiet travelers sitting on the green grass with their cameras ready. The air becomes cooler, and the harsh afternoon light slowly begins to soften into a warm, gentle evening glow. As the sun begins to lower in the sky, the white marble of the monument starts its magical transformation again. The bright, blinding white color slowly turns into a deep, rich gold, exactly like the color of warm, sweet honey. The reflection of the golden building shines perfectly in the slow, dark river water moving gently below it. The sky behind the huge dome turns into a breathtaking painting of bright orange, soft purple, and deep romantic pink. You sit perfectly still on the grass, watching the beautiful light change minute by minute as the day comes to an end. The noise of the busy city is completely gone now, leaving only the peaceful sound of the wind in the trees. It is a moment of pure, perfect peace that makes you feel deeply connected to the wonderful history of this place. You finally understand why this beautiful building is often called a teardrop on the cheek of time. The sun finally drops below the horizon, and the golden color of the marble slowly fades into a soft, glowing gray. The stars begin to appear in the dark Indian sky, shining brightly over the greatest monument of true love ever built. You take one last, long look at the beautiful dome, locking the perfect image safely inside your memory forever. You came to see a famous building, but you are leaving with a feeling that you will never, ever forget.